How long until people recreate all the VR missions from Metal Gear? That's a really good question. I bet you could get pretty close. Oh man, that's good. Someone will do it. Someone will do something of the sort. Metal Gear 1-1. Anyways, this is Adventures of Pip. Welcome back. I've actually played a decent chunk of this, but we'll go back to the early stages. We'll bounce around a little bit. Colin's reviewing this, but seems like a combination between his internet and PSN for just not acting well today. So we'll see how this goes. Anyways, yeah, so Adventures of Pip is it's a pretty cool game. It came out also this week. It is $15. Let's go ahead and start with 1-1. So the cool thing about Pip is that he's got 3 different transformations. He starts out as a pixel. You can jump, you can, take out enemies by jumping on top of them. You start out with 3 hearts, but you can, by beating bosses and purchasing upgrades, you can get more. And you purchase upgrades with these pixels that you collect. So we'll check out the shop after this stage, actually. You notice in the top right, other than my pixel count, I've also got 3 people. Basically, in every stage, there is a person, or there are 3 people that are hidden. So if you find all 3 people, you get a perfect rank for that stage. And some people actually will return to town and they'll set up shop. So like right now I have a guy, excuse me, sorry. Right now I have a guy who's like selling items and upgrades, and I got another like blacksmith who's selling weapon upgrades. So these enemies right here, if you take them out, you'll transform to the next highest transformation. So now I am an 8-bit character, and now I'm 16-bit. So and then you hold circle to go back to devolve, as it were. So with the 8-bit character, I can do wall jumping. You actually don't get 16-bit until World 2, so... Lots of hidden areas like this. Look for, like, in the wall, you see, like, there's a hole and you can kind of see an area behind it. Basically, look out for those, and that'll be a pretty good sign of a hidden area. So stuff like that. And sometimes that'll lead to, like, one of the hidden people. Sometimes it'll lead to big chests like this with a bunch of pixels. Also, as 8-bit, I can punch. With 16-bit, you have a sword. So you move a little slower. Like, actually, your 8-bit character has probably got the most movement. But with 16-bit, he moves a little slower, but he can attack like that. And that means there are special blocks in later levels that are marked with a sword, and like you're the only one that can take out those blocks. And then there are, areas like that you can only get in if you're just your pixel. So the story of this game is, kind of your traditional, like, the princess has been captured by an evil witch, and you, the lowly pixel, the one that no one really thinks is capable of doing anything, go on a quest to save the princess. There's a lot of, like, things where you'll run into people and they'll be like, well, what can you do? You're just a pixel. And stuff like, oh, I don't want to be pixelist. Like racist, but, you know. Stuff like that. But and then that's an example of like the type of people that you would be saving. So we'll very quickly we'll run back to town just to show what that looks like. So basically, once you leave this town, it's actually kind of in like a really bad shape. But as you're rescuing people, they return back to town, and it looks like they start rebuilding it. Excuse me, sorry. So we got this merchant, and he's selling a few different things. So I can actually buy another heart container. I can buy detectors that will show where treasure is and where villagers are, if you're having trouble finding them. You got fire orbs, bit force potions, things like that. I'm gonna buy another heart. And then here's your blacksmith. And so he offers other types of upgrades. So you've got, let's see, Cerberus, the best upgrade you can get. With full health, you can cast a mighty blast towards enemies with your sword. It's kind of like Zelda. Midas, get the most out of your enemies. They'll drop twice as much loot as normal. That would actually be pretty good. Magnet bracelet, heavy, you know, things like that. And so I don't know if there was other shops that will open up. Kind of looks like maybe there's a third, or maybe more. Typically, like there's like one person that you can rescue that you're gonna see anyways, like it's out in the open, and that person is like, those were the two people that would come back and build up a new shop. So let's go back and jump a little further ahead. Heaven Smile, that is a, man, that would be amazing. If all of those things happen, meeting Super Meat Boy at the end, years later creating the Pit Boy that would lead to the Fallout universe, that would be fantastic. Let's go ahead and do maybe a little farther into the first world. The game gets pretty, relatively difficult. I'm in world, the end of World 3 right now. I'm on the boss there. Like, you're gonna die. It's not like super challenging, but it's definitely some parts can get kind of tough. And the further you get, the more and more it relies on you like changing different forms. So like the one pixel can, like, it'll bounce higher off the bounce pads, for instance, so you'll want to change to that. There was a world I was in, the world I'm in now actually, like, a lot of the levels required me to be changing, pretty constantly. Just to be able to, like, solve puzzles and different things like that. Another thing you can do, so these kind of glowing blocks here, if you devolve next to them, like, you create a burst. And what that will do is that'll break them, and then you can kind of get through. And there would have been like a hidden villager down here. It's a little weird replaying these levels from the first world now that I have all 3 transformations, because like you don't actually like before you get to World 2, you know, bouncing on this guy would not have transformed me to 16-bit. So it's kind of strange because they're not really designed around being able to be that form yet. All right, and then we'll do a couple more levels, maybe a little later on, maybe World 2, so you can see some of the 16-bit transformation. Yeah, it's really cool. I'm excited to see like how the last couple worlds play out, because I think there's room for it to be like really crazy, where it's like constantly like, you know, changing transformations and you know, using that strength in the level design. So, but we'll see. Yeah, let's do 2-4. I also, yeah, I like how it looks. I think this game looks really nice. Music's pretty good, but really, yeah, specifically just the mechanic here is, you know, it's kind of what you come to this for. It's like the thing that sets it apart from other, you know, indie 2D side-scrolling games. This level in particular should give you a pretty, like a better example of how they use these transformations, like in puzzles. Another thing I like, you notice, is when you're 8-bit and you're like grappled onto a wall, you can actually like hold onto it. Like if you can slide down if you want, but if you let go, you'll actually stick to it, which is pretty nice. So kind of like, I guess if you let go, you do you slide down. If you hold it, you can stick to it though, which is nice. Alright, then we devolve. The track specifically in this set of stages I really liked. You might also notice when you're playing as the Pixel, when you jump, if you hold X, you actually kind of glide down. You don't fall directly down, you can kind of hold it to glide a little bit. And that can help you get a little farther with your jumps. So I like that stuff. It's the type of thing that, like, you know, being 16-bit doesn't necessarily mean that, like, that's the best form. Each form has its own strengths and weaknesses, and, like, you have to utilize that in different ways. Like, I think that's pretty smart design, I think. It's kind of the thing where, like, initially it was kind of weird that, like, the 16-bit character is pretty slow. Like, he moves a lot slower than your 8-bit character. And that feels kind of weird at first, but then the more you play, the more you realize, like, there's a reason for that. It's the type of thing that, like, you don't always... Like, I don't always find myself wanting to be one specific character all the time. Yeah, so it's by TikTok Games. You know, I don't know. I believe it might be their first. It's the first I've heard of, at least. I've not heard of them before this. Yeah, so that's I do think it's their first, but I could be wrong. We can check a little bit later. All right, let's see. We got this. We can do it. Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a good first outing, if it is their first game. So this is the one person I'm missing in the stage. I have to get up here. So I know I need to break this. Oh, I think I might have figured it out. See, last night what happened is, like, I broke the top, and both of those things got destroyed. So there we go, simple enough. Look at that. But yeah, both things got destroyed, and I wasn't for sure, like, how to do it. But that was a lot easier than I was making it last night. Oh, crap. Gotta get some timing on this. Nope. Alright. Now or never. Okay. Yeah, I've noticed that, that happening every once in a while. There's, like, a game will pop up from a developer I've never heard of, and a lot of their other stuff is just mobile. There's another one. I cannot for the life of me think of what it is. There's another game that I've heard of recently that looks really cool, but all the other games they made are, like, mobile stuff, so it's kind of like, you're not, like, really sure how the quality's gonna end up being, but if it's like this, then... We'll go ahead and do the boss for the first world, so you can kind of see what bosses are like. a little too far. Alright. So boss stages do have like a little bit of a stage beforehand. So they'll still have the 3 hidden villagers. Sorry, excuse me. And we drop in, and then we're at boss number 1. I actually found this guy to be a little harder than the second boss. But it's really, I mean, it's just pattern recognition. So not too bad. Also, roll of 3 is in full effect here. So we got 2 more hits. Oh crap. This is not going well. Alright, did it. Wasn't the cleanest, but we got it done. And that's Adventures of Pip. Once again, it is out now. It's $15. It's really cool. I like it quite a bit. I know Colin's reviewing it. We were talking about it a bit last night. He seems to be liking it as well. And there are 5 worlds, at least as far as I know. I know I'm at the end of World 3. I don't know how far Colin is. And real quick before we end, we do have 2 codes for the Black Ops 3 beta to give away. Which, not a ton of people watching, so I'm just gonna drop these in chat, and then whoever gets them, gets them. I do believe Colin is hoping to maybe stream some of the beta right after this, but again, we've having trouble with just having trouble with PSN in general, and also he seems to be having trouble with his internet, so if that doesn't happen, he will stream that later on this week. But that's going to do it for our new release show. Thanks for watching and tuning in if you did, even those who have already left. We'll be back next week. Next week there is a ton of stuff coming out. So we're probably going to have a lot more to stream next week and in the future, and that'll be again 8 o'clock Wednesday night, Eastern time. And then this Friday we'll have our Frog Bog Friday community stream, so multiplayer stuff. Maybe we'll get some people, some viewers in to play as well. But that's gonna do it, so thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.